My tapes are not going up. I don't know why. So I'm not. I've put up two tapes, and I can't get enough background on it. I try to give a lot of background. I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama in '41, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers, and the woman he killed her twins, Peggy and Carl. That's I've shown this on all the other tapes so far back. All of this. I didn't know about it, my kidnapping, and who my father is, Edward the Eighth, who never married Wallace Simpson, a double did. He married, I think I've just said this a dozen times, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist George O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. And that Elizabeth, and yes, she knows all about me. She lives in my home, my money. Her father, George the Sixth, the illegal George the Sixth, who helped take my father down with lies and 99 years seal, and I'm Victoria II, and there was an addendum to my father's abdication, forced one, that is very legal. I'm Victoria II, heir to the British Crown, and that would make my sons Mark and Scott heirs after me. Now I want to stop on this and try to get back to, I was brought near Huntsville where the Space Center started, so a lot of the scientists, there's different ways that hostage money comes in, not just money across the board. So you can imagine what happened there at Redstone Arsenal. NASA began. Now, I want to jump to this because I didn't when I did the book, I moved from Moonraker, that's when Larry Flint was shot, and I knew that was programming. I was doing the book about mind control, modifying behavior, and all that. So, and this had long reaching to Piedmont Hospital and the deaths in Cobb County, Warren and Rosina Matthews, pathologist at Larry McDonald's Hospital, the shooting and death of Gene Strokerman at Dr. Hardiman's office at Piedmont Hospital. So you get all kinds of connections here. So I'm going to go to this, that there's a lot in the book that people would want me dead. I only told the truth, that's it. And people wanted me dead. I found out about my kidnapping, and that family always wanted me dead because she would face the gas chamber. And she thought the book being published might bring attention if it got published to the fact that my real name and her killing the twins. So anyway, we'll get back to moved into the Laurelwood Apartments. My divorce decree that my husband went in and orchestrated with my attorney. That if he ever had anything, it was half mine, even if he was remarried. So that divorce, I had a good attorney supposedly there, Macduff and Marietta. So now I want to get to this, and it had an addendum to it, which my father's forced abdication had an addendum making me legal heir, making sure that everybody knew I was legal heir. So now I want to go back to a $100,000 deposit. Life insurance was supposed to be left. John signed that on the divorce. Now I want to get back to the, I'm just going to get to this. I moved into Laurelwood, a couple of doors up from Moonraker on Delk Road. Well, Delk, it was on Bentley Road, Bentley Drive. And I signed the lease, the deposit, everything. My ex-husband had nothing to do with that. Yet I had a letter from the FBI, and I thought this was because of the book I had done. And a letter from the FBI, and then in mid-March, so much has happened to me and the kids, even with Cobb County Police. I put all this on prior tapes. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and all this is still happening to me and my boys. So my ex-husband called his sister, and Laura Childers Klein, who owned a CPA firm, and she still does, I believe, out in Austin, Texas. She lives in Lockhart, and yeah, I'm going to give her their names. They did all this. Nobody's paid for their crimes except me. This is ongoing. National security involved is what the FBI letter said, ongoing investigation. It's been my ongoing hell. So I understand now, and I just found out her name. I never even bothered, but I happened to Google it, and what really got me was she gave the name of my sons as contact to her. I haven't seen my son since then, except a couple of times, and I hope all of it's told because that was hideous. So anyway, her name is Twyla Joyce Pelham, and she married Childers, my ex-husband. So I found out that she had my divorce, and this comes from the top sources. She had my divorce papers. She would have had access, if not kept my book. It was all left there in my apartment, and my ex-husband allowed to come in illegally in my name, the apartment, my security deposit, and take it all over. They let him put Laurelwood Apartments did in his name. I had no apartment left. He used my deposit and just moved my furniture and kids and everything a couple of doors up in Laurelwood, and then the antifreeze was put in me. And I found out, I didn't know that he was married. It was hell. This woman, Dempsey, and Philip, who's retired ATF, and his wife, and my ex-husband, shoved me in the car after the antifreeze, and I was trying to see what had been put in me, a tox screen, because I know it was killing me. And instead, I got stuffed in the car, and so much happened that was illegal. It was torture. I should have died. And that woman took me across the state line, and I remember saying, "You're kidnapping me." Little did I know I'd already been kidnapped. I went to work a month later in that condition for the district attorney in Huntsville, Fred Simpson, Madison County DA. Now I'm going back to this. I worked until 82, and this woman, Lionel, was trying to shut me up. I was in bad condition and trying to work and hoping my kids lived, and I thought my apartment was gone. I didn't know where it was. I later found out that he married this woman. She lived in the apartments when I moved there, or shortly after I moved there, Pelham, Twyla. And she married, after the antifreeze was put in me, I don't know the date, but she married my ex-husband. He supposedly died in '93 of cancer. But she married him. She took my kids, my photos. I didn't have, but I've got a couple now somebody saved and sent to me. Every picture, everything was gone. They took it, including my kids, Mark and Scott, and I don't know where they are now. They're not in Atlanta. But anyway, I found her name, and she's in Rutherford. This woman had my divorce. She probably kept copies of my book. And I will say this, and the police showed me where she and my ex-husband tried to have me locked up, and they did, by the way. And the Cobb County Police said, well, you can't do it because you're not kin to her. You'll have to find somebody kin to her. So they forced my sons, and then my ex-husband's name was on it. So you can guess what they did. It was a living hell. They were trying to use the mental health system to kill me. Exactly. So I could go on and on with that because Lina Dempsey did it too after I'd worked for the district attorney. I mean, I was fighting for my life and the condition I was in. I finally got the tox report. They finally had done one. And even 2 weeks after, it showed so much antifreeze still in me. And my ex-husband got it. They wouldn't let me have it, so he got it. And this is the man who helped do all this. And he gave me copies, and I later sent them. I gave them to everybody. It didn't do any good. I even went to the marshal's office while I worked for the DA in Huntsville. And that's what scared this woman, Dempsey, that killed her twins, that made me call her mother. I told her, I said, well, the lady that took copies of all this, what they did to me, was British. And that's before I found out about being kidnapped. So this scared the heck out of her, and she wanted me dead more. So I'm not going to go, Jack Hartsfield saved my life, a reporter, FBI agent, and the new chief of police who was former FBI, and he even wrote a book, Salvador Vizzini. They were the two sent in there that saved my life. It was an ongoing hell. And this woman, Pelham, had a part of it, John's new wife. Now then, where is the money? I was trying to finally get the divorce enforced because I was shut down after the DA and computer science, and I lost my apartment. My jobs were controlled, whether I had one or didn't. So I went back to Atlanta, and that's when John and his new wife and I